Okay, guys, today we're gonna light up a JR Ultimate. Now, this one, I gave it a rating of 8 in a scale of 1 to 10. I gave it an 8. So let's light it up. This one, it's a little hard. I think my humidor must be dry because it's a little on the dry side, and it doesn't have the aroma of the other one. But let's see. I'm not gonna shut it down because of one cigar didn't come out well. Well, this thing needs more fire. I like this cigar, but the only thing I don't like is the diameter. It's huge, very big. So I mentioned in my hunting, I think I mentioned in my hunting video that I have to find a vehicle that I can tow and get rid of the quad so I can use the roads, the trails, and everything. And I started looking at Jeeps. But then the Jeeps, all vehicles have an issue. What do you see, boy? Look at this guy. He sees something. What you got? Anyway, so I decided that I am not getting a Jeep, even though it's a good vehicle, and some years are better than others. The Rubicon has the 4:10 gear ratio, and the Dana 44. It's a good differential. But again, what do I want that vehicle for? Is to explore, hunt, and if I do catch a deer, bring it back to camp. Well, the Jeep does not have the space for the deer. It's not a pickup. It's a Jeep. So I stopped looking at Jeeps. Now I'm looking at small pickups like the Ranger, the Mazda, which is a Ranger also, the Nissan, and little small pickups that I see them over here all the time because most of the gardeners that work on the gardens up and down this road, most of them have Rangers. It's very economical. They come with a 6 cylinder engine. I think it's a V6 or an inline. I heard that the V6 is no good, but the inline 6 is the best. And they come in automatic, 4-wheel drive, and stick shift. Now I started looking at them, and I found a 2-wheel drive, not a 4-wheel drive, in very good condition for $1,800. That's not bad. But if I go into that trail down there, it has to be 4-wheel drive, I won't be able to get. I can go in, I won't be able to get out. Very steep, very bouldery, too many holes. And I don't want to have to buy a vehicle and start building it up, buying tires, getting a lift kit. I'm too old for that stuff already. I used to do that back in the day, but not anymore. Just want to get a vehicle that I can drive around, just dirt roads. And if I catch a deer, I can put her in the bed. Put a little winch that I have, crank winch, or buy one of those cheap Harbor Freight winches for quads. They're about $89. Can't beat that. Attach it to the back of the bed there, hook up the deer, put a plywood, ramp it up, and you're done. So now the ones that are 4-wheel drive, In semi-good condition, they're going for about 8,500 to 11,000, depending on what they are, what they have the tires, and if it's got a lift kit, and you know. I don't know if I want to spend $8,000 on something I'm going to be using very little. I'm going to have to be paying tags, insurance. If it's a beater upper, I'm going to have to fix it up and repair it. That's going to cost more money. And I'm kind of debating. I'm kind of, going back and forth. Um, I think I'm going to come up with a MacGyver for the quad. I can do something that I can attach to the quad in the rear and drag and attach it to the hitch and do some sort of a cradle so you can put the deer or the pig also, and then drag it back to camp. The the Indians used to have this dragging system. I don't know the name of it. Two poles. They would attach it to the horse somehow, and they would load up their gear, their coats, and skins and everything, their teepees, and they can just drag it. And I think I could do something like that to drag a deer back to camp. Maybe I can put wheels at the end so it rolls a little bit instead of dragging holes and stuff. I gotta come up with something because I'm gonna spend thousands of dollars on a vehicle that I'm gonna use it maybe twice, maybe three times. You gotta be practical. Quad is already paid for. Uh, I don't have to have a road insurance or anything like that. It's just for the trails, and I have to use what I got. So that's the bottom line. No Jeep and no pickup. I want the simplest transport there is. Now I could also do something and buy a side by side with a dump bed, and I see them going for about 8,000 to 11,000. But again, on a vehicle that I'm going to use just a few times, where it's legal, is it feasible for me to spend that kind of money on a brand new vehicle just to, if I maybe get a deer, I can put it in the back? Uh, no, I mean, she doesn't come with me. What would I need a side by side? And I already have a tandem. Most 99% of the time I'm alone, so I don't really need. It would be nice to get it. If I would have bought one already a long time ago, I would be using it. I would be using it, but I have the tandem quad bombardier. It runs great, and that's what I got to use. I can't be investing money on something that within a few years I'm going to say I'm quitting hunting, and then I have to resell. I got to sell everything, even before it's paid off. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming back. The aroma's coming back. It's not exactly like the first one. Well, now that I hear that plane coming over, passing over me, I just remember that I saw what happened in Fresno in the air races. There was a plane that I think is the one that won the race, and they were just flying around cooling off the engines before landing, because that's a tradition. They fly low and then they go up high to cool off at 2,000 feet, cool the engine, and then land. Well, they won the race. The guy that won had a white and blue, cloudy white airplane paint on it. And the other plane that was behind him cooling off also possibly didn't see him because of the color of the plane, and he plowed right into the fuselage, chopped up the left wing, hit the pilot in the middle, and the plane just dropped off. The other plane kept flying, and then it made a loop, and it just went straight down with hardly any damage. That's the assessment of this guy that he looked at the videos, and he explained it with some model planes. And I'm thinking, if that plane didn't have any damage, why did it go down? It must have some damage to the prop, but the wings were fine, the ailerons were fine, the fuselage was fine. The prop is the one that did the damage on the other plane, that he probably confused it with the sky because it's the same color, same light blue. It wasn't a dark navy blue, it was a light blue with white stripes, I believe, and it looked like a cloud. The guy didn't see him, he hit it. So I think, my opinion is that second pilot, which by the way they both had over 35 years of experience flying and doing those races, the plane that tipped over and went straight down, I think he committed suicide when he realized what he did to that other plane, which was the champion. And they knew each other. They weren't enemies or anything. So I think that he actually committed suicide. Because if the plane is a little bit damaged, you still come in for a landing, being that you have all your parts intact. The wings are good, the real tail is good, the fuselage is good, even the landing gear, because it retracts. Let's say that the prop was a little bent and you got a little shakiness and stuff, you can still make a landing because the landing strip was right below him. So this maneuver that he did, he hit it, he kept going, and then he went down like that. That to me is a suicide. They'll probably be doing more investigation, but that's my assessment. And there's always an accident in those races. Almost every year there's something going on. It's a shame. It's a shame, those guys. They were both flying World War II refurbished airplanes in excellent condition, better than new. And then this has to happen. So this guy here, Mr. Papa Boy, does not leave me alone. I took him to the park today, let him run up and down, chasing whatever he wanted. I met with a friend over there, and he has a bucket with water. He went and drank water. He sat down with the other dog. We were there for half an hour. He went off again, sniffing around and running around. He had his fun, brought him back, and he still is not satisfied. He still wants to come out here and sit in the shade with the breeze, because he knows I'm gonna be here with him smoking a cigar. So he goes into the office and he starts howling, telling me that, I say, isn't that enough? I mean, I took him to the park yesterday, let him run around, and he's got this excess energy that he still runs, and he's looking, for his age. He should be acting like an old dude, but he's not. He just loves to be out here with me. I went to the back and I said, okay, let's sit in the yard. He didn't want to sit in the yard. He wanted to run out here and then kick back and watch the cars or whatever, some other dogs, people walking dogs. He's quite a character, this guy. And now he's at peace. I mean, look at him. He's just sitting there. And then he sits in the front of me, or he sits right next to me or behind me. He's always around me because he likes to be with daddy. He looks around. So, yeah, I still got a bunch of miscellaneous on the Blazer, on the camper, But I've done a lot. I've had like how many items? Like 25, 30 items. Bunch of miscellaneous, and I still got to do some more. I am going to be using the quad more often because I don't want to be driving around with the camper knocking everything off. I want the camper to be situated in a spot, in a camping spot, and I can go and come with the quad and just walk in. There goes another ranger. Just walk in and get cook whatever, and the pots they're already on the stove, and the coffee maker, everything. I don't have to be putting things away because it's a hassle. It's really a hassle. You know, gotta put this out, put this away, and put the other way, and lock this down, and and you know. And then you gotta crank the top down, and then when you get to where you want to go, you gotta crank it back up, and it's too much work. You're going on vacation, you're going on a fishing trip. You park by the lake, like when we go to the Mammoth lakes, we go to the campground, then we walk to the lake with the rods. So that's that's the next plan. To camp where I'm going to be, and the rest of the driving around is going to be with a quad or a little Chevy like that. Oh, that's a tiny one. That's a tiny one. If I can find a deal, because the pickup is really the way to go. Small pickup. You can put your gun rack on the little pickup, have your gun there or two, have a little cooler next to you on the side for drinks, or have the big cooler in the back. If you do catch a deer, you want to debone and put the meat in there, throw some ice. That's the way to go. Because the Jeep does not have the room. You're gonna have to remove the back seat. The square footage is small. I think it's 13 or so. The pickup has more room. Uh, if you want to go and drive somewhere and then sit in glass, you can throw the chair in the back. You can throw the backpack in the back, whatever. But it has to be a four-wheel drive. But that little Chevy that went by, I don't think I seen that type before. That's very tiny. It had a 6-foot bed on it, I think. Yeah, and it was going up the hill pretty good. So I'm going to consider it, but it's all about the price. It's all about the price. I'm not going to blow 11,000 or 8,000. If I sell the quad with the trailer, let's say for 5 grand, that's more or less what it's going to go for. I seen them for 6. I seen them for 8. Anyways, I gotta get something similar in price so I don't have to pull money out of pocket. If it's an even purchase, you sell it for this and you buy it for the same amount, then we're good. Because still I'm gonna have an additional expenditure on the street vehicle because you got to have license. I mean, yeah, license tag and insurance. Something that I don't have on my quad. I don't need to put insurance on it. Some people do for an accident. But if it's a street vehicle, you have to legalize it for the street, and you can use it on the dirt roads. That's the thing. Oh, what's going on with this street? It's got so much traffic over here. It's like a freeway. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.